When I was in college many years ago, I met two students. They were both recipients of a very unusual scholarship. And I was really taken not only by how college had changed their lives, but also how it had changed the lives of so many people in the neighborhoods that they came from. I decided in college that someday I'd like to start a scholarship program. And December 15, 1963, in my apartment in New York City, we started SEO.
I was already in college when I met Mike. What he was talking about was essentially gathering together young, successful, primarily white males, and having them commit to mentoring young people like myself to help us get into college. And oh, by the way, once we get into college, this is the phone number you call if you need help, because your mentor's going to be with you all the way through. That was a revolutionary concept.
It was 1963, and people were not talking about how to get low-income kids to and through college. SEO was the first mentoring program to have college completion as one of its primary goals.
I watched Michael go to corporate giants, the chairman of Time Inc., the chairman of Exxon, custodians of so much power and influence, and Michael could get these people to recognize that it was more than them just giving a donation. It was really about, we want you to be a partner with us.
I grew up during the height of the crack epidemic in the 80s. I never really thought about college. It wasn't even in my universe, because in my environment, we didn't have role models that talked about college. SEO introduced me to college in terms of making me realize that it would make my life better. And not just my life, but my family's life.
A child, the more mentors or people that they can have that can help guide them, shows them that they can do it and that they're not alone.
The common thread that runs through all of SEO is helping young people meet the existing standards for success. SEO scholars attend 720 hours of additional classes on Saturdays, the month of July, as well as after school. By 11th grade, they're truly ready for college level work.
SEO changed my life by making college a reality instead of a dream.
I think really what it means to be an SEO scholar is to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given to develop yourself, not only academically, but beyond.
In 1980, we started the career program for highly talented college students to provide opportunities for young people of color in investment banking, to help diversify an industry, and lastly, to use investment banking as a model to create other programs over the years.
On Talk About this morning, Gerald Harrington will talk about young blacks preparing themselves for careers on Wall Street.
I was in the original career program class in the summer of 1980. Mike launched the career program with the support of John Whitehead, co-chairman of Goldman Sachs. Mike and John then worked to bring on Bob Baldwin, chairman of Morgan Stanley, George Shinn, chairman of First Boston, and John Goodfriend, chairman of Salomon Brothers. Having the chairman on board sent a signal to Wall Street that diversity and SEO were a priority.
This was a lot of one-on-one meeting with leaders in these different industries to convince them to diversify their workforce with intellectual capital that was going to come with new and different ways of doing things. Michael was successful in getting people to open those doors, create more opportunity, and then also to get them to invest in SEO.
It was a time on Wall Street where you certainly didn't find a lot of people that looked like me. The main message that we heard, especially since the program was in its infancy, was do a good job. Hopefully they will hire you, but more importantly, you better preserve that seat for the person coming next summer.
I think every person of color in my analyst class came through SEO. And it made me wonder, would any of us be here if there were no SEO? And I think the answer to that was pretty clear.
I think now it's easy to look back and say, well, of course, every minority's got a shot at an internship and has a shot at a job, but 40 years ago, that was a progressive idea that people didn't subscribe to.
The vision that Michael had when he established SEO in 1963 is as relevant today as ever. It was all about introducing high school students to all of the opportunities that were available to them and helping them graduate from college. And that's exactly what we continue to do today.
Michael Oshowitz has a world-class heart. He also has a world-class mind. And to me, he's the reason why SEO has become what it is.
Michael Oshowitz, instead of trying to push people one at a time, he built whole groups of people who could push each other, share best practices, encourage each other when they fall down. And when you build a community, everybody goes further.
Michael Oshowitz has been the mentor for so many young people of color, including me. He has always seen the big picture. Where is society going? Why is it important to have diversity? And has done more to change it, certainly in our industry, than anybody else.
Mike cares enough to reach back and help others, and he does it in such a way that he's not looking to get the credit or the attention. He's looking for the people who he helps to get the credit and attention.
Michael worked on Wall Street. He achieved a lot of success, and he gave it up for his passion. It requires tremendous courage to be able to do that.
I'd like to think that in all of the alums that have gone through SEO, there's a little bit of Mike Oshowitz in all of us. And that's the reason why we continue to give back, not only to this organization, but to our communities and to this nation.
What has made SEO work is very simple. People have taken the premise that my success is great, but our success is incredible.
Michael has had basically two things in his life: his family and SEO. Michael and Maria have dedicated so much of their lives to building SEO, and they have such deep respect for the staff at SEO, for the professionals that have worked over the years to make the organization what it is today.
When I think about the legacy of SEO, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is the importance of giving back and showing the way for others. And they start to think of themselves as part of something larger than themselves. And that is a very powerful idea.
During the 80s, as a young black male, we were seen as pariahs and just a menace to society. And Mike Oshowitz said, no, I'm going to do something about this. I'm not going to, stand on the sideline and just watch kids who have, unrealized potential go down the drain. And he took a risk. He knocked down some doors, and he basically told colleges and corporations, you have to give my kids opportunity. I'll, give them the resources, I give them the tools, and they'll be able to compete just as effectively as any other kid, but give them the opportunity. When you have an organization like SEO that, says you matter, we care about you, we're going to commit resources to make sure that you succeed. His caring just flowed through the entire organization. He's a good man, and I thank God for him. I really do.